First podcast 2023. Los and I have been off for about a month, taking a nice, much needed break.
Yeah, let me tell you something. KJ's also been in hiding. Like you text him and shit, and he's like, la da 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 da.
Listen, I was hibernating for like the past month, man. Like seriously, I didn't do a lot of. I honestly didn't do a lot of gaming over the past month. Like I took time to like actually watch film, TV shows, and like things like that. So I took a little bit of a break from gaming. I did a little bit here and there, but not as much as I usually do.
Listen, I've taken such a break from gaming that my PS4 has like 4 layers of dust.
Really? Oh man. And we're gonna have to like dust that dust off soon because this year is a lot of great games coming out this year.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, Harry Potter.
Well, I actually want to buy that with my next check for my girlfriend for her birthday.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna play it with her, or are you just getting it for her?
I'm just getting it for her because she's the big Harry Potter fan, and I've watched all the movies and I thought they were enjoyable, you know. But I'm not into like wizardry and sorcery and like medieval knights and all that crap, you know.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I'm not that big into Star Wars, because it's just, you know, space wizards with laser swords.
Why do you gotta disrespect Star Wars like that?
Someone doesn't know how to watch Strange New Worlds when it was the assignment.
Legion is in chat. Legion is here. Hi, Legion.
A good show like The Bad Batch.
Hi, Legion. How's it going, man? Happy New Year, buddy.
Hey, Legion.
Legion says, "Yeah, he is the best ghoster on everything." Yes, I am actually. I think that we're
Star Trek, when the assignment was to watch the season so we could review it.
Man, aren't we in like 2023 now? Why are we?
yeah, that's right. That means you're gonna watch the old season and the new season, and then we're gonna review it.
I mean, we did say that once
watch Obi-Wan.
We did say once the new season starts that I will make it up and I will watch the old season and then watch the new season with you.
Okay.
You know, I will definitely make it up to you. I promise.
Yeah. You'd be glad we don't make this like a She-Hulk review thing where every 2 episodes we're reviewing.
Oh man. But yeah, other than that, guys,
Legion, should he do that?
Legion, stay out of this, okay? I mean, if you want to make decisions on the podcast, maybe if you join the Patreon, maybe I'll actually let you make a decision on the podcast.
Told you, even on Twitch, you did not watch stuff what Los gave you. See?
Oh, Legion, come on, man.
Legion says yes. We should do the reviews.
Jeez Louise, Legion, come on, man. You're on my side. You know me first. Like, chill out.
You know, it's like those chocolate bunnies. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's gonna happen soon. I promise.
Listen, I have a month of teasing. I have to give you all in one shot. Okay.
Yeah. I know it's a lot of making up to do because we've been like super busy like over the past month, so we did not get a chance to catch up on certain things. So yeah, there's probably gonna be a lot of teasing this episode, guys, because it's overdue. It's definitely overdue for sure. All right, let's get into some content talk, guys. Let's start talking about some podcast stuff. First off, anybody watching this live right now, hit that like button. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you guys listen to the audio version of this podcast, leave. What was that? I don't know what that was.
That's known as you kicking off the rust.
Yeah, kicking off the rust. Yes, for sure. Leave us a review on the audio podcast forums. And don't forget, if you guys want to support the podcast financially, check out our Patreon, which is also in the description of the show notes and also in the audio podcast show notes as well. Los got a lot of stuff to catch up on. Can't catch up on all of it, but we're going to try our best.
Very true.
Let's start off with random fact. We haven't done that in a very long time. Do you have a random fact for us today?
I do. Hold on one second. In 26 states, impotence is grounds for divorce.
What? Really? Mm-hmm. In 26? That's actually a lot.
Yeah. If your soldier can salute, your marriage can be over.
So you can literally you can divorce somebody for whatever you want, but you can. So like, is that through the court or is that just through?
Court.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Jeez, that's actually interesting. Do you know what
divorce
states?
Proceedings, you have to have a medical doctor prove that the person is impotent.
There is no way that this is real. Seriously? Is this like in the states?
Yeah,
this is not.
States.
Wow, that's actually very surprising. All right, so yeah, hopefully anybody who's married and lives in one of those states, hopefully you're not going through that right now. If so, then I feel pretty bad for the future
I've
of
got
your
another
marriage.
random one. You ready for
Okay,
this?
go for it.
The Out of the top 10 most sexually satisfied countries, number 1 is Nigeria.
I can see that.
USA is number 9.
Wow. Surprise.
Number 10.
That's even further down.
And Japan is the last one at 15%.
Jeez. Wow, I'm actually surprised that that America is number 10. That's very surprising.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. Think about it. Okay. The problem with America is, in general, America is very conservative about sex, things like that. You know.
Yeah.
Whereas, as far as other countries, they really just don't kind of give it any real thought. You know.
Yeah, it's just typical. It's, yeah.
Think about Mexico's number 2.
Wow. Okay. I can see that. Other countries just don't bat an eye, I guess. I don't know. I think it's also a lot. I think a lot of it has to do with like religion aspects and things like that. Like in our country. So I think that plays a big role.
Too, I mean, like if you go to Europe, like they'll advertise milk with topless women. I mean, like, and that's normal. That's not like a big deal for them.
That is true. There are a lot of countries that have those really weird, overly sexualized ads.
See, but that's the thing. As Americans, we think it's overly sexual.
Or yeah, but to them, it's like, oh, that's normal.
Yeah, like and a lot of Americans drool over cleavage. You get to see like a little teeny tiny part, and they're like, oh, cleavage.
Oh my goodness gracious, what was that?
Exactly. You go to Europe and like everybody's topless.
Yeah, it's like this is just normal. All right, so my random fact, I have like 2, and these are extremely random. Rubber bands will last longer, much longer, if they are refrigerated. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Why did you know that?
I didn't.
Did you try it?
Okay, I'm dating myself, but there was a show on PBS called 3-2-1 Contact.
Okay.
It was a science show for kids, and that's one of their experiments.
Was making a rubber band last longer by putting it in the freezer.
Yeah, and it'll even stretch more.
In the fridge. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. These facts, chat, I'm getting from facts.net, by the way. I have another random one, super random on this one. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. That's a lot.
Yeah, but nickel, dime, quarter, penny, 50-cent piece.
But 293? I would have thought maybe like, all right, 15, 20 maybe.
Okay, think about it. You could do 5 nickels, 5 dimes, a quarter, like.
Yeah, I guess that's that's a lot. I was not expecting that number. That was kind of OD.
High because of the penny.
Yeah, that is true. Penny is a powerful form of currency out there.
Yeah,
and very underutilized. All right, so those are random facts. We're going to jump into our show notes, which is going to be for anybody who is new, who has just joined the JHOUZE Radio community for the first time this year. We're going to jump into our show notes where we talk about a bunch of random things going on in the industry of film and gaming. The first thing I want to talk about is 2023 is here. It still feels weird to write that on a piece of paper. What are 3 films, TV shows, or games that you think will be, that you predict will be amazing this year? And then after that, we'll talk about which ones you think will be flops.
Okay, do you mean amazing as far as sales?
No, just like live up to the hype, like, actually be good, worth watching, worth spending your money on.
I think one of the big games this year will be Harry Potter.
Wow, I'm very surprised at that, especially considering the creator of Harry Potter has been under fire over the past few years.
Well, the thing about it is, you have a large fan base, and people have absolutely gone nuts over it. Think about how popular the Harry Potter store is in New York. There's lines like for 3 or 4 blocks on a Tuesday.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's why I think Harry Potter will be very, very, very big, very popular, and I think it'll be one of those sleeper hits, like Animal Crossing was during the pandemic.
Animal Crossing came out of nowhere. That just took the world by storm.
Yeah, and do you know the version of Animal Crossing that took the world by storm is like the 3rd or 4th generation?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Wow.
Exactly. It's one of those things where I just kind of feel like that's going to be the like not only a sleeper hit, I think it's going to be a very big hit that a lot of people will be, will be hooked on, and you're going to see a lot of YouTube videos on.
I can see that. I mean, honestly, I feel like if Harry Potter blows up this year, or if it's at least good, people like it, it gets like an average score of like 8 out of 10, I will be very surprised. I'll be very surprised. Because I feel like a lot of people are kind of sleeping on that game a little bit, because honestly, mainly because of the creator. I feel like a lot of people are going to push back, on that game because of that. Like the hardcore will probably still be there, but there are going to be some that are going to be like, oh, well, I don't like the creator, I'm going to fall back. Or, like the game is not going to have Quidditch, so I don't care. You know what I mean? I feel like people are going to find reasons to like nitpick at that game.
People will find reasons to nitpick at everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because here's the thing. I mean, I know guys who will see a super hot woman and go, nah, she's not tall enough. Nah, she's short. Oh, look at her toenails or some nonsense like that. People will nitpick at anything. But I kind of feel if the gameplay is rather smooth, I think the Harry Potter fans will get to it.
Okay.
And especially since it's available on Switch, so now a lot of younger kids, they're hooked on the Switch. So I kind of feel like that's one of the things that people aren't looking at. That kids will be like, oh my God, Harry Potter. Okay, I have it on my Switch and I can take it with me everywhere.
I actually forgot it was even coming out on Switch. That's actually a really good play by them, because that's pretty big. It's pretty big. As far as what I think that's going to be a hit this year, it's Spider-Man 2. I mean, it's like the first game was amazing, pun intended. And this one is just going to be more of the same. We're getting Peter back, we get Miles back, we got Venom. The guy who voiced Candyman, he's voicing Venom, which he has the most the most amazing voice, like amazing voice actor. We're also going
also a Star Trek alum. He was on Star Trek.
Yes, he was. So I think Spider-Man 2 easily could be in the conversation. Well, easily should be, and probably top pick for game of the year this year for sure. Like,
I think Spider-Man will win game of the year. Absolutely.
You think it will win?
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
But I also think Harry Potter is one of those games that will just, will be more popular than people expected.
Okay. I mean, and I will admit, I have been catching up on the Harry Potter films. Me and my girl have been watching them. I think I forgot which movie I'm on now, but they're entertaining. They're interesting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually kind of liking it right now. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Do you have another film or TV show or a game this year that you think might actually live up to the hype?
TV show, yes. There's a TV show that its second season was released 2 years ago called Warrior. Have you heard about that?
No, I didn't hear about that one.
You remember the TV show called Kung Fu?
No.
Okay, there was a TV show called Kung Fu that was released in the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't know that.
That show was created by Bruce Lee, was stolen from Bruce Lee, and David Carradine wound up taking over the role. If you don't know who David Carradine is, he's Bill from Kill Bill.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So he played a Chinese person. He doesn't look Chinese.
Not even a little bit.
Right. So what Bruce Lee's daughter did was return to the original idea and created a show called Warrior, set in San Francisco during when all the Chinese were coming over and immigrating.
Yeah.
And it is, when I tell you, one of the most amazing shows I've seen. It is one of the most amazing shows I've seen.
Wow.
It has drama. It has romance. It has fights. It has gang wars. It has gang politics. It has racism in it. Like, it is an amazing show, and season 3 is coming out. So for me, my pick for television is that. And then even Star Trek.
Of course.
But when it comes to movies, though, that is a very, 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 very loaded question. Because you have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2. Ant-Man and the Wasp you have that's coming out. You have Mission Impossible. You have Creed 3. Shazam is coming out. Scream is coming out. John Wick Chapter 4 is coming out. What I think is going to be a flop is Dungeons and Dragons, because they can never do that right.
Yeah.
What else? Super Mario Brothers is coming out, which I don't want to watch, but I'm probably going to wind up watching. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out. Fast X is coming out.
I forgot about Fast.
Yeah, The Little Mermaid, which a lot of people are going to watch out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Transformers
Oh, wow.
is coming out. What else? The Flash is coming out. I'm going to watch that.
Oh,
Indiana
man.
Jones is coming out.
You know what? You mentioning
Impossible is coming out. Wait, I'm not done. Barbie, which a lot of parents will take their kids to, is coming out.
Yeah, that is true.
The Marvels is coming out. There's one more movie, and Blue Beetle is coming out.
I definitely have some words.
Kraven the Hunter.
That's this year. Kraven the Hunter is this year.
23, yeah.
That's gonna get delayed.
There's a new Exorcist coming out. Dune Part 2 is coming out.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
a Hunger Games movie coming out, which I never saw any of them, so I don't care.
I did hear about the Hunger Games, yeah.
Wonka is coming out. It's supposed to be the Willy Wonka story before he did his factory or something like that. Aquaman is coming out. Like, there is so many movies coming out. So many, and movies that we all been waiting to see. On top of my list would be Spider-Man, Aquaman, and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'm actually surprised you picked Ant-Man and the Wasp. This
Why?
is going because I don't remember if you. I mean, I know you like the films, but I just figured that you probably weren't really that interested in Ant-Man and the Wasp for some reason. I don't know. I just got this vibe that you just weren't really that interested in it. I know you probably would see it.
Well, here's the thing: Ant-Man and the Wasp is the fun movies of Marvel. They're the funny ones. They're the ones with the crazy heists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it has what's his name in? Who's like, okay. So this is what happens. So then he talked to this one, and she talked to this one, and da 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 da. I forget the actor's name. Peña, I think it is.
Yeah, something Peña. I wonder if he's in this.
He's got to be in it somewhere.
I'm about to check the IMDb right now. If he's not in this, I'm going to be upset. All right, let's see. He's got to be in here. I don't know. So far, I don't see him.
Oh, he's not in there?
I don't see him so far.
Oh, he's not in there.
No, I don't see him.
Wrong move.
Like, I'm looking at the top cast. Like, he's not even in the first 20 names at all.
I don't think he will be. Because you understand, the whole story is they go into the quantum realm and they come out. I kind of feel like he's going to be either the beginning or the end.
Yeah, maybe.
Be like, okay. So let me catch you up and everything that's happened. And then,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they're going to use him like that.
Probably.
Marvel needs to release is him talking about phase 1, 2, and 3 of the Marvel universe.
They need to. Yeah, they need to. They're not going to do it, but they need to. Actually,
I would pay to watch that because I think it'll be fucking hysterical.
Actually, no, he's not in this movie at all. I just looked at his credits. He's not. His last film was 2022. He's not in Ant-Man and the Wasp at all. That is a miss. Why did they not put? His name is Michael Peña, by the way.
Michael Peña, yeah.
Why did they not put him in this film? They had him in the first 2 films. He was hilarious. I mean, I get it. They're going into the Quantum Mania. Like, they don't, like, where is he gonna play in that? You know what I mean? You could have had him in the movie before that or after that. I'm just really surprised that they don't have Michael Peña in this film whatsoever. Yeah. That's a big miss.
I want to hear him say Baskin Robbins finds out everything.
Oh man, I need to go back and watch the Ant-Man like films just to like kind of catch up on like everything that's happening within that franchise. But yeah, Ant-Man and Wasp, they are the fun like side of Marvel along with like Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, there are rumors that this could be a very big pivotal part of the MCU, this film, because of what's going to happen in it. So especially with like Kang making his first official like film appearance basically. So
yeah, first film appearance.
Yeah, so this could be a big film. I was actually surprised at how comic book accurate they were with Kang
Bro,
in
even
this
down
film.
to the scar on his eye.
Yes, I was like, wow, props, like major props to Marvel for that, because I was afraid they were going to do something really corny, really lame, something that's just not the character at all. But they actually stuck to the source material, which nowadays is hard for like most franchises to stick to the source material.
Yeah,
But
especially since the things have deviated so much where there are people like myself who try to read the source material before I watch the film.
yeah,
People like yourself are more into the film and only get, notified of the source material when I, like myself or someone else tells you. Then you're like, oh, well, maybe I should look at it.
yeah,
I think it's very divided that way. And I think by adding some comic book accuracy, you've gained more fans, people who are really into it.
exactly. I agree. Legion of Chat says, oh yeah, the Deadpool with Wolverine, not sure when that is going to be out. Is that this year? Deadpool and Wolverine? 24. Okay.
24.
So
Yeah.
so one more year.
I hope they do a whole Valentine's Day campaign with
I
them as a
really
gay
do.
couple. No, dude, seriously.
I
Remember
really
the
hope
first
they
Deadpool? Remember the first Deadpool? They did that campaign, make it look like a romantic movie.
I vaguely remember. I haven't seen it in so long. Vaguely
I hope
remember
they
that.
do that with both of them, as a romantic couple. I think
Just
that would be
just
phenomenal.
taking each other out on like a date, kind of like a bromance, just hanging out.
No, not even bromance, romance. Like I think that would be like a funny way to market that film, because Deadpool does market his film differently. And I think
Yeah,
it
he
would be
does.
great.
He's very over the top with it for sure. But yeah, I didn't realize until after you sat here and named all those films, there is a lot of content coming out this year. Even like as far as games, television shows, movies, like how are we gonna, and side note, I didn't even watch this trailer, the most recent trailer. And Kang looks like he's getting serious in this one. He's getting down and dirty in this film. So I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, me too.
Really excited for this film. But yeah, there is a lot of great content coming out this year. There is not going to be enough time to like catch up on everything, man. Like you're gonna have to work a second job to go see all these movies, buy these games, and keep up on all these, like services. It's a lot. This is going to be a very interesting year for content.
This is not a plug. We're not sponsored, but I'm gonna say this: that AMC Movie Pass, you get to see one movie a week.
You know what? This might be the year that I have to do that.
Yeah.
There is too much. There is too many films coming out. Like to go see everything in IMAX or Dolby. Like you're talking about easily. Like I'm going to be spending hundreds of dollars this year just to go see all these movies that are coming out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did I mention I got engaged?
Side note, chat. Los got engaged.
Did I mention that? I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
I don't think we mentioned that. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can throw a cheers up on Los's screen here. I don't know if I can. No, I can't.
Yeah. On the 27th of November, we got engaged. So anyway, my fiance.
Can we?
Because it's still weird for me to say fiance. I still say girlfriend. But,
Yeah.
I should say fiance, so I'm trying to say it more and more. So my
Wait.
fiance
Let's get you some props. Everybody in chat, if you're watching live, give me some thumbs up. If you are listening to the audio version of this, leave a review for congratulations of Los getting engaged. Just want to say that.
Appreciate that.
We would appreciate that very much. What's up, Adams? How you doing, man? Let me get a thumbs up in chat, Adams. Los is engaged. We gotta make sure we celebrate.
So,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like I was trying to say. Yeah, say it now, Los, before you get in the doghouse early. I'm in the doghouse every day because I'm a pain in the ass.
Exactly.
Thank you, Adams. But like I was saying, we had the movie pass, and we used to go to movies every week. We had to cancel it because of other things that kind of got in the way. But I'm thinking of getting it again. For us
Okay.
to go to the movies once a week.
How much is it a month? The movie pass thing you were talking about?
I think if I remember right, it was under 50.
Under 50 a month. Okay. That's
Under 50 a month.
that's
I
actually
don't remember
nothing.
what it is, bro. But here's the thing, though. Like, you can reserve your seats, right? You'll get like free popcorn sometimes, and this, that, and the other thing. So
Yeah.
it's worth it. And you get discounts on everything that you buy there. So instead of
But
spending $100 like you normally would, you're spending like 80 to 70, depending on what you get and what the deal is.
so that's just for like that subscription is just for one person though, right?
One
So
person, but you can get 2 subscriptions and link them.
okay.
So if you link them, then both of you can go in for free.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
But if not, you're really paying half price because you're in for free. You pay the other ticket.
yeah.
Really average it out, you're paying half price.
Yeah, well, that's
But
Los.
This is the year to get that.
That's Los's recommendation for this episode. Go get the movie pass, especially for this year. There's too many movies coming out for sure.
Yeah, that's the best way to see it because it's economical. You can watch it, you can schedule it, and not only that, like think about it, you can watch it during the middle of the week too.
Yeah, true
You're
indeed.
better. We personally watch in the middle of the week because nobody's there.
Yeah, that is true. That's the best time to go. Best time to go. So with all the great movies that are coming out this year, great games and content, is there anything that you are not looking forward to this year?
Mario Brothers.
Why? What's wrong with Mario Brothers, man?
I've listen to me. I play video games. I started playing video games starting at Super NES.
Okay.
Understand? And I didn't play anything before that, really. And I
Okay.
never got into Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. I got into Donkey Kong, but I
Okay.
never got into Mario Brothers. I don't know. It just never drew my attention, called my attention.
Okay.
So that's
fair.
kind of why. It's not that I have a distaste for Mario. It's just that it never called my attention, so I'm not really interested in it.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, I think for me, the only thing I'm not looking forward to, or I think that might disappoint me, is the new Scream movie. This is like Scream 6 now at this point, and I'm just a little afraid that it might be overkill. It's too many movies. You know, we just had a Scream movie last year. We got another one this year, and I don't know.
It's no different than Friday the 13th.
Yeah, but I feel like that era of Friday the 13th Part 25 back in Texas, like that era of just continuous horror movie after horror movie. I know, great name, right?
Jason going, yeehaw, you're gonna die, y'all.
Back in Texas, hide your stakes, grab your women, and get your cowboy hats, cause Jason's coming. But yeah, like we should just do like a fake like commercial for like the next Jason film, just for kicks and giggles. They should just do it for kicks and giggles.
Listen, let me tell you something, bro. If the studio was still around, we would have been doing funny fake trailers for so many different things.
Just parody trailers.
Not
Oh
only
man.
that, like I would make trailers for films that I want to make, but have barely written. No, because back in the day, that's how we used to sell films. We used to take an investor out for something to eat, or we'd invite them somewhere, we'd cook and we'd give them food. They'd
Mhm.
watch the trailer, we'd shoot a scene or two, and we'd sit there and the actors would be there and we're all trying to like get them to like invest money. And you'd be surprised how when you shoot a trailer, which is sort of a weird way of thinking of how to do a trailer,
Yeah.
you really get to flesh out a lot of the ideas for the film and dramatic moments in the film.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah,
That
I would do that.
that would be a good idea to do one day. Actually, it really would be. Yeah, Legion in chat says, yeah, but think about the Fast and Furious Fast series that seems not going to end. That's another one. The Fast and Furious movie. I forgot that was even coming out this year. But I feel like we're getting to this point where it's like, yeah, back in the day, coming out with 20 different movies for like one franchise, that was like just the thing to do. I feel like now, I don't know if that's as acceptable as it used to be. Like I feel like they want to, like as far as like the Scream series, they want to make it the new Friday the 13th thing. But I'm like, people, I don't know if people want that. Like, do people still want that? Do we want 20 Scream movies?
Think about this. Star Wars and Star Trek, the two largest sci-fi franchises, even they have stopped making movies.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we'll cool off for a little while before we make another one.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think Star Wars has what, 12, I think it is, or 13 movies, and Star Trek has 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and even they're like, yeah, you know, we'll cool off.
Yeah, let's slow down for a little bit.
It's just a little. It's like it's like The Rock. Okay, you're oversaturated with it, and I can see completely why the oversaturation of screen really makes you go, maybe not.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what it is for me. I'm not really. I mean, I'm gonna go see it because I'm a fan of the franchise. Like, I love Scream, I love Ghostface, so I'm just gonna go see it just because of that fact. But it is kind of getting like, all right, like, what new are you going to do? Legion, and I mean, Adams in chat says Fast and Furious should have ended 5 movies ago. I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Let me tell you something. I think I've seen 3 of them. And that's it.
Yeah, I've seen. I don't even remember if I've seen all of them. Like, that's how many Fast movies there are at this point. I stopped counting. I don't even think I'm gonna go see the new Fast. So, but yeah, I think for me this year, as far as just what I can think of off the top of my head, I feel like Fast and Furious, Scream 6. I just, those are the films that I'm just like, whatever. Maybe I'll check out if it's on a streaming service or something, or go to a movie if there's nothing else to do that week and see. But those are the 2 films that I'm just like, whatever this year.
So what else?
Scream and Fast, what is it, 10 now?
Oh, Fast 10. Yeah, but that's the last Fast movie.
Thank goodness, man. Supposedly, like, and that's another franchise. It's like, listen, like you don't have any substance here anymore. I think they're supposed to be going to space or something. That's ridiculous.
But think about this: the Fast movies went from being about racing to being about fast cars doing things that absolutely
ridiculous.
Impossible.
Yeah,
like, you know, 2 Chargers dragging a freaking 20-ton safe around Brazil or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ridiculous.
That was very ridiculous. Very ridiculous. Adams in chat said a lot of people are going to go see Scream 6 because of Jenna Ortega. I 100% agree. Jenna Ortega is blowing up right now. Like, her playing Wednesday in the Wednesday show, like, just catapulted her career. Like, she's everywhere, literally everywhere.
Did you hear what happened with Wednesday season 2?
I knew that they are making a season 2. If that's what you're speaking of.
Yes, but it moved to Amazon.
What?
Netflix decided not to renew a season 2. Another production company bought it, and last I read about it, which was a while ago, they're moving it to Amazon.
Wow. I'm gonna have to.
I may be confusing that with another franchise, but I believe that it's moving to Amazon.
Wow, I gotta look into that.
Yeah,
I gotta
there is
see.
going to be a Wednesday season 2, but Netflix initially was not going to do it.
Yeah, Adams in chat said he think Amazon did buy it. I said that's interesting. So I guess I'm gonna have to subscribe to Amazon when Wednesday comes out. Gee, another streaming service I gotta subscribe to.
How many times have I told? Listen, to this. Amazon Prime Video, the quality is good. It really is so good.
I did hear that.
And not only that, you could buy channels. So you could literally, in Amazon Prime, you can go, okay, I'm going to add Paramount Plus. So now Paramount Plus is a channel within your Amazon Prime, and it's cheaper when you do it that way too.
Oh, like really?
$1 or $2.
Okay.
And then you could add HBO Max, you could add this, you could add that. So everything would be your Amazon Prime Video. You go to all the other streaming services, and it's all incorporated. The only bad thing about Amazon Prime, their search isn't that great.
Okay.
But other than that, I literally use Google to search for the show I'm looking for, and it shows me a link to Amazon Prime. I click on that, and then I go to the show.
You go right into the show. Yeah. Okay.
But it's
streaming
really
services.
A really good service. It really is, honestly.
I had it a long time ago. I just haven't used it in so long. There's just so many streaming services. I barely keep up with the ones that I have, but I feel like I might have to just push the button and just do it.
Bro, we have them all.
Yeah.
We even have something called Crunchyroll.
Oh, you have Crunchyroll? Really? The anime service?
We also have, do you know Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
And we also have something called Shudder, which is nothing but horror movies.
Oh yeah. I had Shudder for a little bit. They got some good movies on there for sure.
So
got some good movies.
Have it all. Peacock, Showtime, HBO Max, like you name it, I have it.
Yeah, it's funny. We like got rid of cable and then we just bought a bunch of streaming services, which almost equals up to the amount. All right, Adams
is out.
All right, thanks for stopping by, Adams, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you, Keith.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just saying that I feel like we got rid of like cable boxes, and now we have all these streaming services, and we're pretty much almost still paying the same amount of money that we're paying for cable boxes for the streaming services. It's so funny, so
Yeah,
especially with the prices
but
going up.
this time you get to choose which services you want.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Because with cable, you just had a bunch of mess, and it was just like, let me skip these 20,000 channels before I get to the one channel that I want to watch.
Yeah.
So
You would be flicking and flicking and flicking, flicking. Now you just do a little search and go, I want to watch this, and
yeah, exactly. All right, so let's jump into our next topic here. This revolves around DC, which I feel like we don't go one episode without talking about DC at least once, especially as of late. Especially Marvel. Like we're literally the Marvel and DC podcast. Like we should just like ask those guys to cut us a check. Our boy Ezra Miller pled guilty, and he is now avoiding jail time, which is a major surprise. Let me see. So he's avoiding going to jail. If he did go to jail, if he was convicted on felony burglary charges, he was going to get up to 25 years. Yes. How in the world did he escape that?
Lawyers.
That's crazy.
Bro, you forget that lawyers of Hollywood are very powerful people with a lot of money and could drag this thing on forever.
I see that.
So, half the times the courts just go, listen, let's just get him out of my face. What they did is they made him pay a $500 fine, give him 1 year of probation with 41 conditions, including no drinking, random drug tests, and he has to continue his mental health treatment.
Do you think he's gonna stick to it? Realistically,
I think someone will piss in a bottle for him. I think he could avoid alcohol easily. But the mental health treatments, I think that's the one thing he can't avoid.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably going to be the toughest one for him. I mean, the good thing is if he sticks to it, maybe he can, selfishly get this whole Flash train rolling, start promoting the film, maybe have a future cameo in a Batman movie or Justice League film. Because I really did like him as Flash. Like, I really do like him as Flash. I think he plays that character well. It would suck to see him waste his talents by just doing stupid stuff by robbing people for alcohol. It's like, dude, like, granted, I know you don't make as much money as like Ben Affleck or anything, but you make enough money, you can go buy your own freaking beer. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you robbing people? Like, I don't understand that.
And I know the next show we're talking about the DC universe, so I'm not going to get into it. But what I find strange is he's the only one that the gun show is willing to everybody.
I coined that. I really love that. I did.
Yes, you did.
I really love that. I'm gonna have to hit up James Gunn and be like, you know what? I'm calling the new era of James Gunn in the DC universe the Gun Show. Like, give me tweet
that and tag them.
I'm gonna have to tag him. But yeah, I mean, that is interesting. I mean, we do have to have a full episode where we sit down and talk about the recent changes. I feel like almost every week there's something new going on in the DC universe. I heard The Rock is not coming back supposedly as Black Adam. Obviously, Henry Cavill's not coming back. Very bad. It's just there's a lot of confusion because James Gunn has this vision of where he's taking the DC universe, and we don't see it yet. We just see chaos and actors not coming back, actors getting fired, and this and that. Changing roles.
Wait. Hold those thoughts for the next show.
Yes.
If I start digging into it, this whole show will be about that.
You're right.
The next podcast is about the DCU.
Yes. We might actually have to call the next podcast the Gun Show, and like we're just gonna add part 1, part 2 on it until we get that first James Gunn film, and we're just gonna keep adding on it.
Honestly, I think every time we review one of those movies, we should call it the Gun Show part whatever it may be.
Let's do it. Do it. Dark Legion in chat says, do it. Don't let dreams be dreams, KJ. Just do it. I forgot what you were speaking to in reference to that, but hey, I mean, you're Oh well, yeah. There you go. Speak it into reality. All right, so let's jump into our main topic here. What we're here for, The Last of Us.
Common foolery? Is that what we're here for? Tomfoolery?
That one too. That one too. So The Last of Us is finally here. Based off of one of the most successful, iconic PlayStation video games of all time. By game director Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog. I mean, not Naughty Dog. Is it Naughty Dog?
I don't know.
I forgot which studio did it. Either way, somebody in chat will let me know. Either way, The Last of Us TV show has finally arrived. We got it on HBO Max. Los and I are going to be talking about our thoughts and some mild spoilers. So if you haven't seen the show yet,
No. We never do mild spoilers. We do flat out spoilers.
Flat out spoilers. Okay, so
we're going to do our typical formula where first we're going to talk about our thoughts on the show, our basic review on it, what we like, what we didn't like, and then we get into more of the spoiler territory, and we also kind of compare it to the game also. So
yeah,
this is your warning that right now this first part of the review is spoiler free, but the second part will be full of spoilers. You're given your warning, and from what I've seen of the game and what I've seen of the show, they're pretty close. Like they're like, if you've played the game, you kind of know what's happening in the show. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and all right, well, let's start with you, Los, because you have the least experience with the franchise. I don't think you played the game, right? You didn't play the game before?
No. I watched a playthrough, a walkthrough.
Okay.
Just so I can kind of have them to compare and contrast.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad show, but I wasn't thrilled by it.
Okay.
But then again, also with this type of show, the first episode is all set up, so you really don't have a lot to go on.
Okay.
I thought the performances were good. I thought that his daughter in the first part was excellent. I don't know the character's name. The girl who actually plays with him in the game.
Ellie, you talking about?
Yeah, the one turns out to be a lesbian in the part 2.
Oh, yeah. Ellie. Okay.
I thought the girl that they picked, I wasn't that thrilled with, but the more I watched the show, the more her performance grew on me. So,
you talking about the actress who played Ellie? Yeah, I wasn't that crazy about her either at first, honestly.
What I did like is the actress who plays the leader of the Resistance. I forgot what. I think they're called butterflies. Was it butterflies?
Oh, the
lightning bugs.
Fireflies. Yeah.
The actress who played the leader of the Fireflies on the TV show is the same actress who played it in the game.
Really? I didn't catch that. I did not catch that. Good catch right there.
So I did like that. I did like the way they made the Chicago look. I did like all of that. I did like how you saw that there was a new type of money, how even little details, which I'll get more into the spoilers, but I won't get into now, were really surprised me how well it worked. So like I said, it was entertaining, it was watchable, but it didn't thrill me. But then again, it's also the first episode, which is all set up. And what was your thoughts on it?
My initial thoughts on it was, for one, just from the intro, I love the fact that they kept the original song from the game. I wasn't really sure how they were going to go about that because the music in The Last of Us is just so iconic. I have like the music from part 1 and part 2 like saved in my iTunes library. Like that's how much I love the music from that game. I'm thinking about buying a vinyl actually. I thought the casting was great, but besides, like I said, the actress who played Ellie, I was a little about her from like watching the trailers and everything. I was like, I don't like her look. She doesn't look like an Ellie to me. But like you said, over time throughout the episode, I was like, all right, well, this is Ellie. I gotta deal with it, basically. I did like Joel. Who's the actor that played Joel? What is his name again? Pedro Pascal. Man, he looks like Joel. Like he looks like a Joel.
His mannerisms was exactly like Mickey.
Really? Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, so that like brought back a little bit for you, a little nostalgia.
No, I was just kind of like, whoa. Like it creeped me out a little bit. I was like, damn, that's Mickey on the screen.
She's like, Mickey, is that you? I love like the film. I mean, the show was just such high quality, and for me, coming off of watching Halo, the TV show, to watching this, is, you know, which is another game that was turned into a TV show. It's just like you can tell that this show had a lot of love, a lot of detail given to it, and it was just so detailed. Like for a second, me and my girl was watching it. She was like, "Is this a movie or is this a TV show?" Like, no, this is a TV show. You know what I mean?
The cinematography was amazing.
It really, like, whoever they hired, as far as writers, cinematographers, like whatever team they hired, we need to get more teams like that throughout the rest of the industry when it comes to making these adaptations from games to movies. Because just from this first episode, it's just like I was just thinking about the entire time. There was just so much quality and attention to detail in this show. I was just like, man, I can't wait to watch the next episode. I just want to see what they're going to do for the next few episodes. Yeah. And like you said, you know, to piggyback off of you, like the acting was great, casting was great, top notch, top tier acting, top tier cast. I don't really, I mean, from my perspective, I don't really have a lot to complain about. I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, granted, it is only the first episode. It's just giving you a little snippet of what to look forward to, of what's to come. I think if you're somebody who's never played the game and you're watching this for the first time, it's literally giving you that experience. There are literally some scenes that are almost shot for shot that came from the game that's in the show. So you are experiencing the game in a sense, just in a more dramatic format. So obviously not every single shot is from the game. They obviously add a few little extra things here and there, but just overall, I think just from the first episode, I thought it was great. I freaking loved it. I thought it was good.
There's 3 details in the show that I loved that are not spoilers, so I can say this.
Okay.
One, the intro with showing the fungus grow, nice touch.
Yes, I did like that.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
The second thing is, just like in the game, a lot of the action happens in reflections, outside a window, which I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thirdly, they open a lot of drawers, like in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even catch that until you just said that. I was like, wow, yeah, they actually do that. I didn't even realize that. It's, I don't know, watching, like, coming from somebody who's played part 1 and part 2 and seeing how the first episode is, I'm like, man, like I would love to see what this looks like when season 2 comes out. Like when Ellie's older and, like, you know, we're taking things to, you know, different parts of like the United States and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's such a great start to the show. A lot of people are raving about this show. It's literally everywhere, all over social media. I think it was a good start, you know, in my opinion.
Maybe it's because I didn't play the game that I'm not as wowed by it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, it's still a good show, still an entertaining show, and it's still worth watching.
Yeah,
but I don't know about raving for it.
I mean, I would definitely say it did start off a little slow. I mean, even somebody who does have history with the franchise, it was a little slow starting, but they're trying to reel people in. They're trying to give them enough context, introduce them to enough characters, break things down a little bit. And then I feel as we move throughout the episodes, you're going to start seeing more and more action, adventure, and so on and so forth.
One of the things I did like, that it was such a slow burn in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see what life was before, and then you see what life is like after.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what episode 2 is going to look like, man. It's going to be good. All right. So that's our initial thoughts. That's where we're at so far. We're just going to jump into straight spoilers here. We're going to deep dive into everything that we saw in the episode. So if you guys don't want to know about what happened, if you haven't seen it yet, now's the time to head out, but come back in like 10 minutes. If you're listening to the audio version or watching the video version, the recorded version of this podcast, come back in 10 minutes.
Fast forward for 10 minutes.
Or fast forward.
Fast forward 10 minutes.
Also, all right, go. You go.
Okay. First things first. When they showed life before, you literally got a window of what happened just before things went crazy. And it shows you how things escalated. It started out with the news, something on the news. Then it started out with less people on the street. It started out with the person at the watch shop kicking her out, then coming
Yeah.
home and falling asleep and thinking nothing of it, and then total chaos.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed was so many things happened outside the window, and they even had a little foreshadowing. When the grandmother was in the chair looking out the window, you saw her reflection the whole time,
Yeah.
and it was creepy. And when she opened her mouth, I was
Oh
like, "Oh my God, this girl's dead."
man, dude, that creeped me the heck out when I saw that. I was like, "What is that? What is happening?" That was creepy.
And then
Very
the
creepy.
dog, when she's leaving, the dog stares at the grandmother like, "Something's wrong with you," but I can't tell
Yeah.
what it is.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
thought
I agree.
that was such nice touches that, you don't get the chaos all at once. You see a building, and it almost reminded me of COVID.
It
where so many
did.
things were happening outside, and we didn't notice
Yeah.
until finally it hit. We were in lockdown, et cetera, et cetera.
I have
Not
to agree.
to dig up 2020 again, but, and that's just kind of what it felt like, and it was really good. And when it started to get scary, when that girl stepped her foot in that puddle, in that little stream of blood, I was like, "Run, bitch, run! What are you doing there?"
Oh, but honestly, like, one thing I have to say is a nice touch is just the overall like fear element was a very nice touch. Like you said, seeing the old lady in the couch sitting there with her mouth open, like there was a moment I think it was, I forgot which character it was. One of them were like outside, and one of the clickers were like eating something or somebody, and then like they stepped somewhere and he like sat up really fast. That was just so creepy. It almost gave me like 28 Days Later vibes. Like it gave me vibes of that.
Oh, that's what the zombies are called, clickers.
I believe, like, so there's different forms of the zombies. Some are called clickers, some are called something else. I forgot what the basic form of zombies called, so we'll just call them zombies, I guess. But yeah, it's just like the overall like just transformation and of the zombies running and chasing after Joel. Like that was just it was insane. That was actually pretty creepy.
For me, the setup that really got me hooked was the first shot where you're in the 60s. People are smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Show, right? And you see that television format. And then all of a sudden, when the doctor talks about global warming, it turns into the movie. It goes from that little frame to full screen. And
yeah.
Now you know you're in the movie. And now you know this is what's going on. And it really makes you sit up and pay attention. I thought that was such a great way to set up the whole concept and foundation of the story.
It really was. Like because at first, literally just like you said, when they first had that scene start, they're just talking as if like, it's a news show or like a Saturday night program. And I'm just like, casual.
That's like the Dick Cavett show from the 60s and 70s. They're imitating that. Not that but
Yeah. I was just casually watching that show, eating, and then when, like you said, when that screen widened, when they had the wide shot, like it captivated me. It was such a strong intro to that show. And then on top of that, with us going through COVID, it really just it brought back those feelings again of like the unknown of like 2020 and coronavirus and things like that. It's just that scene hits different because we had COVID.
Yeah.
There is something about that. Like there's something that's in a weird, creepy way magical about that. I think if we didn't have that,
like the fungus isn't real was like lunch for these people.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me see what else. What was some of your most memorable characters from the show? Like which character did you really like?
I didn't have any preference for anyone.
Okay.
Pedro Pascal's character was the focus, and I was focused on him, but I didn't have a preference of any character because I feel like it's still too early to fall in love with a character. For me, I have to see 2 or 3 episodes before I could say, yes, this is my favorite, this is not my favorite, or like, this is what I hate. What I did like, 2 things. In the game, the fungus is spread airborne, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to have a mask on. And in the TV show, it's not spread that way. It's spread through a bite. This way, they don't have to have people with masks, and you can see your actor. Thought that was a great touch.
Very true.
Switch it up.
Very true.
The other thing was the after effects of what happens once the fungus completely consumes your body. That thing on the wall.
Yeah.
And not to put too fine a point on it, but in the very beginning, when he was talking about that fungus that infects the bug, that's a real fungus. That's a real fungus.
Yeah.
That infects a bug and turns it into a zombie. That's not a lie. That's not bullshit. That's not made up. That is 100% true. And because I know that made me go, oh shit, man, kind of fucking crazy.
That is what Neil Druckmann, the director of the Last of Us game, that's what he based the game off of. Like he, I guess he did research on that fungus, and he based the game off of that particular fungus and what it would be like if it was to get into humans. So
I found out about that fungus years ago on like a Nova documentary or something like that.
Really?
You know? Yeah, and it was just one of those little things that I spent 5 minutes on, but that creeped me out so much I never forgot it.
Wow.
Forgot the name of the fungus, but you know, I remember what it did.
Yeah, exactly, right? He's like, I know the after effects of that. Same thing here for me. I don't really have any particular standout cast member that's really catching me. I am intrigued to see how Ellie evolves over time. How the Ellie and Joel relationship evolves on screen, because in the game that's just a very big aspect of that game. Like that is the core of that game, their relationship and how it changes from the first game to the second game. You get a little taste of that towards the end of the episode when Ellie realizes that, okay, Joel just beat the crap out of this guy for me, he protected me, why did he do that? All right, well, maybe he's not going to hurt me.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah. So I think that was our first glimpse of like how that relationship is going to be between them two, because Joel, who lost a daughter, now has to carry this package across town. Like I want to see like I know how they do it in the game, but how are they going to do it on film? Like what are they going to do differently? What are they going to add to it to flare it up a little bit?
My whole take on it was Joel in the very beginning had a good grasp on his humanity, and the moment he killed that old lady, he kind of lost it.
Yeah.
And as the rest of the episode goes, you could tell he doesn't give a shit about anything. He doesn't care about humanity at all.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he had that flashback with that soldier pointing the gun in his face that he snaps and he kills that guy. And mind you, Joel is a veteran of Desert Storm, according to his bumper sticker.
Yeah.
He started taking the first steps of gaining his humanity back.
Yeah.
And that's the journey I really am most interested in seeing.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of that, but yeah, that is going to be an interesting journey, like to see like actually on the screen. Definitely looking forward to that for sure.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you feel, because you've played the game, that it takes something away from watching the series for you, or do you feel like it's different enough for you to stay hooked?
I think it's different enough for me to stay hooked. Like, so I haven't played the first game in a while. Like the first game came out like what, 2013 or something like that, I think. Don't quote me on that. So I haven't played it in a while. So there's a lot that I forgot. So within like watching the film, I mean, I keep calling it a film, but it feels like a film. Watching the show, there were a few scenes where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember this scene. But overall, I forgot a lot. So for me, even though I did play the game, I haven't played it in a while. So I don't feel like it's going to like be any different for me. I feel like I'm almost experiencing it for the first time with a little bit of familiarity, if that makes sense.
Would
you know what I'm saying?
Watching the series make you want to play the game again?
Yes, I actually already do want to play it again. I actually did. I saw something on Google show that the Last of Us games had been raking in the money over the past few days because people are actually going back to playing the games after watching the first episode.
Okay.
You know, so which is a win for Sony, because you know I can imagine that was their goal. So I can imagine whenever they come out with the next Last of Us game, it's gonna probably do triple the numbers because people are more familiar with that series now. So, but I do, yeah. So I do want to go back and play part 2 and like try to get the platinum trophy on that game, because I part 2 is just such a masterpiece, man. I love that game, such a masterpiece.
Here's my question for you.
Okay.
Was the hints about 80s, 70s, and 60s music, was that in the game, or is that something they made up for the series?
I actually don't remember that. When they brought that up, I was a little confused about that, because I was thinking that myself. I was like, was that in the game or not? Because like I said, there are some things that I forgot. So I don't remember if that's in the game. If anybody in chat knows or watching, let me know. So
I love the song they played for the credits.
Yeah, that was nice.
Depeche Mode fan. I was like, yes. DM.
Really?
Oh, I was singing the song the whole time.
Really?
I did not stop the credits just so I could hear the song.
I actually let the credits roll too. I'm not gonna lie, because I was actually kind of enjoying it. What was one of your favorite and least favorite moments of the show? Well, first episode.
Well,
if you have any.
I don't really have a least favorite. I thought the show was really well put together.
Okay.
But one of my favorite parts was when Joel meets Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he throws her on the ground, steps on the knife.
Oh yeah.
Because that is the first step of like her hating this guy and going, I got to depend on him.
Yeah, exactly.
The guard, she's like, she actually enjoys watching him kill the guard.
Yeah, you can see it in her face.
Like, all right, I can roll with him.
Exactly.
To his daughter, who was disgusted by seeing him do that.
Yeah.
In shock. So
yeah,
like I said, I don't have a moment I hate, but I can tell you that's the moment I liked.
Okay. I don't have a moment that I hate. I think I already said that my favorite moment was just because of the cinematography. Is the old lady sitting on the couch. That just creeped me out, man. I don't know why. Just an old lady sitting there, mouth wide open, and like I wasn't even expecting her to do that. She's just sitting there shivering, shaking, and then her mouth is just open and she's just sitting there. Like I mentioned it before that I love when horror movies do this thing where they show you something terrifying and they force you to look at it. And they just leave it on the screen. Like they don't move it. They don't try to fade away to something. It's just like a still frame, disturbing thing. Look at it. You know, like I feel like when films do that in a creative way, that is just such amazing, to me, that's amazing cinematography. I just love that. That was such an amazing shot.
Was a good film that did that. First one, Alien, amazing. I thought
Which scene you talking about?
No, all of it, where like the alien was like in the background so much, and was completely unaware, and you're like, oh my god, turn around, run.
Exactly. And then like that tension just builds. You're like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? Like that's what I love about those type of shots. It's that tension building moment, and you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if the character's gonna see him or not.
For me, what I liked were these little details that a lot of people didn't pick up on. Like when they walked over to the neighbor's house and you're looking at the clock, that stove is from the 70s. And that is something you expect to see from an elderly couple's home.
Yeah.
They haven't remodeled, they haven't upgraded anything. They kept all their old stuff because it works. I love that detail. And one detail that a lot of people didn't realize, when Joel was selling the drugs to the guard, and he goes, I'm going to need the bag back because there's no place to get a new one.
That is true. That is true. You know what? That I didn't catch those little details. But it's
those little details I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that's good.
The burning of the bodies made sense. You're going to try to not spread that disease. You're not going to try to let that fungus grow.
Yeah.
And when the woman is like, I can't do this, he's like, heck.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, just like toss it.
It shows that he didn't have any humanity left. But the one thing that got me thinking was, if Ellie was immune, right? Ellie showed positive for having the fungus, but she's immune.
Yeah.
Did that little kid who walked up there, was he also immune?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
The moment they tested her and she was positive, that's the first thought that went into my head. Man, could that little kid have been immune too? Because they were born into this.
Wow.
Different.
That just blew my mind, bro. That just blew my mind. I didn't even think about that. because like he didn't show any signs.
Right.
You know, like he had like a little scratch on him, and who knows how long. I think when we first saw him, it looked like they showed him walking over over a certain amount of days. I think that's what they were trying to express, that he was walking for a while.
That's what they implied.
So no progress in any kind of like fungus, you know, so he probably could have been immune.
He probably was immune, and they did not realize that when you're immune, you show up positive.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. I didn't even think about that.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, it is just the first episode. It's actually a pretty long episode, which I really liked. It was like an hour and some change, which was a good way to start off, because I feel like a lot of shows.
It was an hour and a half. It was a full feature. It was full feature length.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think, I thought it was necessary for you to explain the whole story, because I think if you broke it up into like 45 minutes or 1 hour episodes, I don't think it would have been as effective as a story.
Mm-hmm.
If they told the story badly, even those 90 minutes would have been not worth it.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, but
agreed.
Again, I feel like they picked the correct length of time to tell the complete story of the first episode, because now in the second episode they're out in the wilderness.
Yeah, this is it.
Now the show's really going to take off.
This is it. I'm really interested to see. There's just so much to this IP that I can't wait to see on screen. I really want to see what they're going to do with the Fireflies. Fireflies play a huge role in the games. Like I said, I just want to see the evolution of Ellie. I really want to see how they transform that from game to screen, and see if the actress can pull it off and make it believable. I really can't wait to see that.
Can I just say one little thing before we move on to the next subject? The girl who played Ellie, do you know who she looks like to me? Do you ever seen the TV show Growing Pains?
Yeah.
The youngest daughter.
I gotta pull up IMDb.
Girl that was on the show towards the last season. The little blonde girl.
I gotta pull it up. Growing Pains. Do you remember her name or no?
The name of the actress?
Yeah. Ashley Johnson was in Growing Pains? Wow.
Yeah, she was also the waitress who flirted with Captain America.
How old is Ashley Johnson? This movie came out this show came out 85. Okay. Yeah, she's because Ashley Johnson actually voiced Ellie in the Last of Us video game.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did. That's why immediately I was like, Ashley Johnson was in this. That's kind of cool.
She's 39.
She's 39. Okay.
Yeah. She to me, the actress who plays Ellie looks like Ashley Johnson.
Well, that's very ironic. That's very ironic, because Ashley Johnson is Ellie in a video game, and real life Ellie looks like Ashley Johnson, who voices Ellie. That's pretty funny, actually. I can actually see that. I see why you say that.
Yeah,
I see why you say that.
She just looked a lot like her, and I was like, oh wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
It made me wonder if that was her daughter. That's how much it looked like her.
Yeah, I see why you say that. So now I do have one more question. If you were not watching this show for the podcast, would you care about watching another episode again?
No.
Really?
No. I'm not a fan of zombies.
Okay.
And that's why. I just kind of feel like zombies went from slow moving creatures that chase you to, in 28 days later where they can run like 60 miles an hour. So zombies was never something I really looked at and was like, oh, this is, something that's drawn to it. But it's only because of that, because of zombies. Because to me, this is a zombie show.
Okay.
And I'm not into zombies. So that's why I wouldn't watch it. Saying that, this is an interesting show to watch for the podcast. It definitely is not an Obi-Wan.
It's not an Obi-Wan?
Definitely not an Obi-Wan.
Oh, man.
Eternals.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It's definitely not.
Oh,
it's a
yes.
decent show to watch. It's a decent show to watch. So, like I said, I am watching it for the podcast, and I don't mind it because the show's decent.
Mhm.
But if the podcast wasn't around, that's not a show I'd gravitate.
Okay. Okay.
But again, not
Interesting.
a bad show.
Yeah. All right. I do think that from my experience in playing the game, I think the zombies are secondary. The story and the character development is a major component of the games, and I feel like that's what they're probably going to do with the show here too. Like they're going to have the zombies, they're going to have the monsters and all that, whatever. But the character development is something that is what's really going to carry the show, which they have to, because if they don't, the show's going to fail, because that's what the game is built off.
A show called Z Nation.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it. It looked like it was kind of corny.
It's actually really good.
Really?
It has a low budget film vibe to it, but it's a really good TV show. I haven't watched I think I watched up to the 3rd season.
Okay.
I got to finish watching it, but it was an enjoyable show. And what made I put it on the first time because it looked like an apocalyptic show.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the zombies came out, I was like, ugh. But the characters were so good, I kept watching the show. That's probably the only exception I have ever had, other than Night of the Living Dead, the original zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was never really interested in it. Only those 2 things have brought my attention, and now I'm watching this for the podcast. So I'm curious if it'll hold my attention. Episode, not 2. I'm not worried about 2. I'm worried about 3 and 4.
Okay.
Because I think episodes 1 and 2 of most series are generally really good. It either hooks you or keeps you curious. And then 3 or 4 is really when I feel like the meat of the story happens.
Exactly.
And then there's Obi-Wan, which from episode 1 on, I was like, this.
Oh, let's hope that the 2023 will bring great content where Los doesn't have to worry about Obi-Wan or Venom or Eternals or anything. Like, let's hope that we can get some great content where we can.
What, though? Honestly, I think we should review The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
Isn't that the animated or something
it's
show?
Really good.
I think I watched the first episode. I haven't caught up on it lately.
Honestly, listen, I've always said Star Wars animation, except for Star Wars Rebels, has been exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think we should do a retro review of Clone Wars. Honestly think we should do a retro review, just a review of Bad Batch. So I think that's one of and they're 20 minutes an episode. It's not like, you're committing a lot of time to it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good show, and I think it deserves a review. Like, if we're going to go into shows that we should review and look at, Bad Batch is one of those shows that are really good. Not like Obi-Wan. I hate it. But back to The Last of Us, so far it's not bad. It's watchable. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. I'm definitely curious about the 2nd episode. I have a tendency to watch the shows that we review just before the podcast, so it's really fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I hate to have watched something a couple days ago and go,
what was it about? Yeah.
Well, it was this one part, but I forgot what happened. So, with The Last of Us, the 2nd episode, I'm kind of looking forward to reviewing it.
Okay.
It's not my cup of tea, but it's good enough to keep me curious.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm a fan of the genre. That says a lot.
Yeah, that actually does say a lot. I'm actually surprised that you gave it props, to be honest. Really surprised you gave it props. At first I was like, I don't think Los is going to want to watch this. And I was like, hey, you want to watch it? He was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Hey, listen, man, I watched Halo up to episode 3.
Oh, you never finished it? You never finished Halo?
Because there was never, the show was, I watched Halo to kind of waiting to see for it to get better.
Yeah, me too.
I watched it, the more I hated the quality of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is Halo. I've only played the game once, but even still, I know how big Halo was. And
yeah,
I kind of feel like the show should have looked more like The Last of Us, like a film, not like
it should have
a low budget British TV show.
That's honestly, a lot of people said that. It said look like a low budget sci-fi channel show in the 90s.
No. Not even Sci-Fi Channel. BBC low budget sci-fi show.
That's bad. BBC low budget sci-fi show. I would hate to see what that looks like. Oh
Doctor
man.
Who. That's all I gotta say.
Other than
I
that,
know
guys,
the Brits love their Doctor Who,
yeah,
but
but
you
that's not true.
cannot say it's a high budget show. It is a very low budget show.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And the scary part is, Halo might be getting a season 2. So, go figure.
I am eventually going to finish watching Halo this year, but it's one of those things like if I remember. On a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, what would you rate the show?
So far, episode 1, I would say I give it a I give it a 10, to be honest. I just give it a flat out 10. It was magnificent, great quality, major attention to detail. Just 10. Good first episode.
Me, it's a 7.5 because I don't know where it's going, and what
Okay.
really would bring it up is if the following episodes were good.
Okay.
If the second episode is just as good as the first episode, it goes up to an 8.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of my thing on it. But as of right now, it's a 7.5, but a good 7.5, maybe 7.75.
7 3/4.
Maybe.
But yeah, anybody who's listening or watching live, definitely leave in chat, leave in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of the first episode of Last of Us, and let us know what you think might pop up in the second episode. This is our first segment of 2023 that we're doing a take one. We're going to try to follow the entire series as much as we can, as long as Los and I are interested. We're going to try to follow the series to the end.
No. I honestly believe once we commit to a show,
Just commit to it.
every episode,
Just stick to it.
talk about it, review it, and move on. I mean, we could literally say, okay, let's review the first one, and then we could turn and say, once the series is over, we'll review it again.
Mhm.
That's fine. You know, if we don't want to do all the ones in between. But I honestly believe once we start a show, we should finish a show.
Just finish it. Okay.
Because look at She-Hulk. She-Hulk is a perfect example where you didn't enjoy it and I enjoyed it,
Mhm.
right? But we stuck to it, we reviewed it, and I think those came out as really good episodes, especially because we had differences of opinion on them.
Yeah, it did.
You know.
We actually got some pretty good views and feedback during that segment for side. I don't even know why, but apparently that was very popular during that time, and everybody was loving She-Hulk.
Listen, and the reason why I think we should do that is because we are the pop culture
Yeah.
podcast.
Here we go.
And
Here we go.
as much as we may not like a show, if it's going to be part of pop culture, and that game is part of pop culture, you know, and now it's part of entertainment culture, we should stick to it and we should review it, whether we like it or not. Even if the whole time we're sitting here complaining about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that if it's pop culture, we should talk about it.
Should do it. True.
Yeah.
Los makes a good point, man. Los is the wise man on the mountain. Los, do you want to leave the people with anything before we get out of here today?
Several things. One, the podcast has finally found its legs. I kind of feel like since KJ sat there, thought about it, focused his energy on the podcast, and really said, we're going to do pop culture, I think we've really found our legs. And I kind of think that the podcast at this point forward will be a lot more fun, not only for us, but for you guys listening.
True, indeed.
I think that was a great step KJ did. Amazing, honestly.
Appreciate it.
The second thing is, this year has a content.
Yeah, it does. It does.
We're going to need to apologize for not covering some of the stuff that we want to cover.
Yeah.
Only so much time we do. Only so much research we can do, you know? So,
Yeah.
apologies for that. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff we're going to review, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever we start with, we're going to stick to it, you know? And I think it'll be fun and interesting to review things.
Yeah, I have to piggyback on that. Because of COVID, I feel like we're going back to the COVID conversation again. Because of COVID, a lot of stuff got delayed. 2020 messed up a lot of things for 2021, 2022. And now that we're in 2023, I feel like a lot of companies, gaming, television, film, are starting to play catch up on a lot of things that they had to push back and delay and so on and so forth. So I think that's okay.
I kind of feel a little different. I kind of feel like these entertainment companies are trying to be like crack dealers in the 80s. A little piece. Maybe you get hooked.
What?
To draw
Why?
you into their IP. Draw you into their IP. Think about it. That's what happened with Marvel. We got little bits and pieces and we were hooked. And before we know it, we're in what, phase 5 of Marvel?
Yeah, that is true.
Waiting for the next thing.
That is true. That is true.
So
It's a good point.
I kind of think that's what's going on. And with the gun show, which you better tweet and you better tag it, I kind of feel like he's gonna do that to us, you know. So I have a good feeling as far as this year, as far as all the entertainment that we're going to watch, review, comment, and make fun of, and praise. I'm excited about this year.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a great year. Like Lo said, man, if we don't cover something, whether it's a film or a game, just we apologize ahead of time. If you guys have any suggestions on anything that you want us to cover, a game or a film or a TV show, that's what the comments are for. That's what the chat is for. Like, just voice your opinion. Let us know. Like, we would love your guys' opinions on how we're doing things, to make sure that we're doing things that you guys want to hear. We're talking about topics that you guys wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, one last thing I do want to mention that we could probably talk about on DC for sure is that there's room.
Really quick.
What's up?
Legion, forgive me. I didn't quite understand what you just put up in the chat. KJ, could you read that? And
Los, but for say, if it goes for the worst, then what is your thoughts unless it's part of the next? Yeah, I don't understand that. I feel like it came off a little. I feel like you like that for DC.
No, DC we're going to talk about in the next podcast. So the next one, into DC, what we think, the good, the bad, and everything else. So wait for next episode. What I did want to say is, in 2023, there is going to be a new definition of a sexy shirt. And right now, KJ is wearing that sexy shirt. The JHOUZE Radio t-shirt. Imagine your significant other wearing nothing but that t-shirt. I call that sexy.
Exactly.
So, if you want to keep that sexy look, I say do not forget to get the merch of JHOUZE Radio. Yes,
do that, please. Do that, please. I will actually throw the merch link in chat for you guys, so you guys can check that out. Exclamation point merch, type it in chat. You guys will get the link to the JHOUZE Radio merch store. And yeah, we got shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, more stuff coming soon. Another quick question or topic to think about going into the next episode of JHOUZE Radio, where we're going to talk about the gun show. James Gunn did announce that he is going to consider casting previous Guardians of the Galaxy cast members in future DC movies. Now, the big what if question: who do you see for the next episode? For the next episode, who do you guys want to see in chat as, like, from Guardians of the Galaxy in the DC universe? Think about that. We're going to answer that question on the next episode. Marinate on that for a little bit. But yeah, other than that, guys, it's 2023. Looking forward to doing some more great content this year, getting some more guests on the show, hopefully get a few live in-person episodes with me and Los this year for the podcast, more than one if possible. Yeah. And yeah, man, Los is getting married this year, man. It's going to be a good year, man.
We're engaged.
Oh, you're not getting married this year? Okay.
No. What happens is she's studying for her second master's, so we have to wait for her to finish.
Okay.
Because otherwise it'll ruin financial aid and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So.
Okay. So Los got engaged this year, so you know it's gonna be a great year.
Yeah, and like I tell everybody, it's the brujeria. For people who don't speak Spanish, it was the witchcraft she threw at me.
There we go, man.
She dropped it in my coffee.
I'm
drinking it.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's great to be back here live doing the show. It's just great to start doing content again. I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be awesome. Thank you everybody who stopped by, show some love. Legion, thank you for following us on the Twitch side of things, on JHOUZE Radio on Twitch. Don't forget, guys, we are live on Twitch, live on YouTube. You can find us on any of your favorite audio podcast platforms. Review, thumbs up, like, share, download. Record us on your favorite VHS tape, side A, side B, you know, everything. Show your love.
Don't forget to buy a sexy shirt so you can have sexy time with significant other.
Oh my goodness, we got to get you to make a JHOUZE Radio commercial.
Are you lonely in bed? Do you look at your partner and thinking, "Wow, they used to be so sexy"? You know what could fix that? A JHOUZE Radio t-shirt and nothing but.
And then we gotta
Go
get you to
Made by
do.
Humans, and you can get one of the most sexiest T-shirts of the decade.
And then we gotta get you to do like the fast talking teleprompter at the end.
Yeah. And Legion reminded me, do not forget that KJ owes my fiance chocolate bunnies.
Since she's fiance now, I definitely got to do it because I can't miss out on that one. I can't.
And we're gonna videotape that, and it's gonna be up on a TikTok.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be in person. So
Yes.
all right, guys, we're getting out of here, man. We're getting out of here. We love you. It's great to be back. Nice to see you all. We'll catch you guys later.